to another stream, the third stream for today, but the first Am I the Asshole Reddit read along and judge people for their decisions, because some of them are honestly stupid. So I just want to make sure, guys, that the live in the first place is not too... I think the audio is going to be fine. I think it's going to be alright, but let's just already just get started with this. So how we'll do this is we'll read it out, I'll read it out, and after I read it out, I'm just gonna, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it, and then we'll decide who is the asshole. So let's go for it. Am I the asshole for making my son cry? Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned...
You gonna open the video on your...
Yeah, I will a bit. I should have mentioned, this is my boyfriend, I'm Caspi. It's great knowledge that you needed to know. This is actually the most important thing you needed to know in your life. Am I the asshole for making my son cry? I, 37 male, have a son, 14 male.
He's 47, not 37.
I, 47 male, have a son, 14 male, from a previous marriage to my late wife. She passed away 2 years ago, and for my son, the wound is still very fresh. My son and I have very close. My son and her were very close. You know what? Am I the English speaker? My son and I were very close, as they look exactly alike and had a lot of the same interests in reading, history, and art. Their favorite place in the world is the British Museum in London. Their passion project has been redrawn pieces from the museum for the last 2 years before. For the last 4 years, for my wife's birthday in June and my son's birthday in December, where we go to England for a week so they can spend time in the museum. However, since she's died, my son and I continue to go for his birthday. The problem with my new wife, 39 female. She's only been with us on this annual trip once last year, and she complained the whole time. Now, however, we recently found out we were expecting a child together in May. She raised it to my attention with the money I've used for the trip could be better used to be saved for the baby, and we could instead do something else for my son's birthday. I thought about it and I agreed. I was worried how he'd take it, as it's the only thing he wants for his birthday. He doesn't ask for gifts or cake or a party. All he cares about is this goddamn museum. We broke the news to my son yesterday and he flipped out. He was so upset, and when my wife tried to yell at him while we were saving the money and where the money was going, he said he didn't give a damn, and we got into an argument about it. He said he was upset because if he didn't go this year, he'd miss the new exhibit he's been wanting to see. And he accused my wife of doing this on purpose because she already doesn't like me, he said. I admit I yelled at him and he started crying for the last 24 hours. He hasn't spoken to me. Am I the asshole? What do you think?
Me? I mean, she does sound like kind of a bitch, but at the same time,
she already doesn't like me, he said. I admit I yelled at him and he started crying for the last 24 hours. Yeah, that music is so loud. I'm sorry, guys. That music is too loud.
There you go.
Alright.
You're on the wrong one.
Am I?
Yeah, that's on the other. For refusing. Yeah.
There we
I had to
go.
open up on another one.
Yeah, all good. What do you think? Do you think...
Well, I think she's being kind of a bitch, but at the same time, I also think the son is being kind of a bitch as well.
I don't think...
Because...
How do you think so?
Because the son... Like, he can say, like, oh, he doesn't want anything else for his birthday. He just wants to go to the museum. That's like saying, oh, he doesn't want any gifts. He just wants to go on a holiday and take an expensive plane trip every year to see a museum in a different country. He doesn't want gifts. He just wants a holiday every year.
Are they not from Britain?
Well, I don't know. I thought they said that they go to the British Museum in London. That makes
the last 4 years, my son's birthday in December, we go to England for a week so we can spend time. Oh, so they travel just okay.
Yes, exactly.
That's a whole new I didn't process that.
Yeah, so in my take, I think it's like the wife does have a point. She's saying like, oh well, instead of like getting a plane trip every year and You know, obviously wasting a bunch of money on a whole holiday just for someone's birthday, which they go to every single year. You know, they could use that for the baby, which is true. But yeah, but at the same time, the way that he wrote it, it did make the mom sound kind of like a bit iffy. But at the same time, you don't really know how she sounded in real life. In real life, she could have been like more heartfelt and said like, you know, oh, I really think we should start saving up for our child, you know. And I think maybe if we just stop doing the holiday, but still get him other gifts, you know, then that'd help. But he wrote it like, oh, she said it like this, you know. So I don't know, but personally, I'm on the parents' side. I don't really think
Yeah, I agree. Traveling for a birthday is a luxury. I think there should be a compromise. So you don't really know in this situation. Maybe there was no compromise at all, but it's definitely a very, like, it's a very privileged thing to be able to go for to England, to overseas, just for a birthday party. But that being said, I don't feel necessarily that the son is an asshole. I don't think anyone's an asshole in this situation, because the son has spent every birthday. The son has spent every birthday, right, going to this museum. So it's very understandable why he wouldn't like that. I just don't think anyone's the asshole.
Yeah, but I can see how you would take it bad in the moment, but at the same time, you gotta realize they're saving up for a baby. But I can understand that as well. You know, he lost his mom, and then this random woman comes in and is like, "Oh no, I don't want you having your thing anymore. It's about me now.
Yeah.
It's about us now." That can be. So I understand the kid's perspective, but at the same time, I do understand. But yeah, it's also kind of iffy because they haven't known each other that long, the mum and the dad, and they're already like having a baby. So
yeah,
it sounds like they've only been together for like a year or two.
yeah.
But yeah, so don't know. I'd have to actually see it in person to know. The story has a lot of holes, or written poorly, I guess. But yeah, for now I'll go with parents' side. You know, I just found it funny. He's like, oh, he doesn't ask for any gifts or anything. Instead, he just wants a trip to an overseas country, a plane trip plus a museum plus travel costs and expenses plus hotel costs. You know, nothing too much. Like, the kid could have asked for like a $3,000 PC for that in that amount, basically.
Let's go to another one.
Yeah, just remember, if you open it, you gotta open it up in that Google thing that you're in now. Oh, you already opened it. Yeah, fuck it. His account suspended as well.
Whose? This guy's?
You hovered over it. Like, am I the asshole for making my son cry?
Really?
Like, hover over his account.
Why is he suspended?
No, you go back. Hover over it. His account.
Why? What happened to make his account suspended?
He probably got a bunch of bad comments or something, and then he suspended his account so he didn't have to read them.
Okay, that's already a sign, I guess. That's a sign that
I'm just guessing.
maybe he just got mad at the people's response to it.
I mean, read the
Hey,
comments.
chat.
Why don't you read the comments?
We're gonna read the next one, and you can tell us, and we'll actually read it out loud if you have any input into this, as to whether or not the person's an asshole or not. So I'm gonna read this new one. Let's just go right into it.
You're on the same one.
Oh.
New one.
Alright.
Read, you can just sort it by top rated, you know? Like the most popular ones.
I'll go for the new ones.
Am I the asshole for cancelling Thanksgiving?
Okay. I am Canadian. Cool. I celebrated this shit last month. Oh, am I the asshole for canceling Thanksgiving? Already? What? Like, why would you do that? That's already like a sus thing. But anyways, I'm Canadian. I celebrated this shit last month, but my American family demanded that I host their Thanksgiving this year. Not anymore. I'm canceling. Okay, some background. I'm 22 male and I live in California with my high school sweetheart, 22 female. I was born in Canada, but I've lived here most of my life. We flew home and had Thanksgiving with my grandparents last month. It's not really relevant to the story. I'm just so pissed at the whole situation. Historically, my family doesn't like my girlfriend. They think she's harsh and mean and opinionated. Those are things I love about her, but regardless, we were supposed to host this year. I wasn't very excited, and she wasn't either. But as we've gotten older and more serious, she's starting to crave my family's validation, so she wanted to try. I'm gonna call her Ruby for this. It started when my mom asked if Ruby was going to be at dinner. I said, obviously. Where else would she go? Apparently my mom had told everyone that Ruby was going to be with her family for Thanksgiving and they wouldn't have to worry about her. She's not, and that was never the plan. My mom demanded I call her. We argued for over an hour. I know Ruby overheard, and she's since told me that since she was scared this would happen. Basically 6 years of grievance coming to a head, and I decided I didn't want to deal with it. So I cancelled Thanksgiving and told my mom to find someone else to host, and we would not be appearing. I won't let Ruby be upset if I have any power over it. My mom called me selfish and said Ruby has brainwashed me, so I told her to go and F herself. Am I the asshole?
No.
I feel like maybe. Like, it's very situation specific. Like, why does the family... Okay. First,
I think there's other two...
Yeah.
I mean, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why does the family think that she's, like... You know, why are the family really just happy about the fact that she's not gonna be there? But the whole point about this thing was the mother said just a fact that was incorrect, being the mother said that Ruby wasn't gonna be at the Thanksgiving hosting celebration. So unless there was something that was actually skewed in the facts for the mother to make her believe it, ultimately in this very specific situation, the mother is in the wrong. But that being said, I think there's pieces of information missing here. Like, no person in their right mind just immediately assumes that someone's gonna be over for Thanksgiving at another person's house and not with their spouse's family. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it's like really determined, because I either think there's two things. Either one, the family's really like a controlling family, like the families that usually like they always think they're right, and they're not used to people arguing back with them. But then the girlfriend is the type of person that's like, "No, you're wrong," and they don't like that about her. Or the family is actually pretty chill. He made it sound worse than it is, and the girlfriend is just a bitch to the family, and the girlfriend always causes drama. But based off this, it's kind of hard to tell because the boyfriend is opinionated and biased. So he could have made it sound worse than it actually is in terms of the girlfriend. But yeah, I think it really depends on that. Because it's either two of those. It's either the family's kind of not used to getting told back, or it's the girlfriend is just really over the top. I feel like that would really base it. As for the actual thing, I think he's right to cancel it, just because the mum in that incidents did say just like, "Oh no, I don't want it to come." So that's pretty, not cool. So I do think in this case, he was right to cancel.
Yeah.
Because the mother could have just said, "Okay, fine."
I mean, you're always like, there's nothing too wrong with what he did to begin with, which is canceling Thanksgiving plans. I mean, given it's not like how like last minute is it? It depends. How last minute? But I don't know, if you're hosting something, I feel like you're allowed to cancel things.
Yeah, I mean, and
given you're doing it in a reasonable time before Thanksgiving.
I mean,
reasonable amount of time.
The mum sounded bossy anyway. Like, he didn't even want to do this. Like, his mum was the one that said, "No, I want you to host Thanksgiving this year." It wasn't him. So the mum does sound kind of, yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yes, and I mean, yeah. He also said that he celebrated it last month. Yeah. Yeah, there was also red flags to begin with, so. Alright.
So tired. 3:55 a.m. chat.
3:55 a.m. for us. We had a afternoon nap, so
How do you like the sound of this one?
Am I the asshole for refusing to switch seats with a kid on a plane because I wanted the window seat?
My type of story.
I mean, immediately, off the bat,
I mean, if a kid
no.
asked me on the plane like to switch seats, I'd be like, "Fuck no! I paid for this seat. Like what? I paid
Yeah,
extra.
literally, you pay extra
I paid
sometimes.
for this seat. I'm not switching with like a child, so I get a middle seat, so I have to sit next to some random person as well.
Yeah, like,
Even
the child can, like, learn to deal with it.
Yeah, unless I'm switching with someone in an aisle seat, I maybe wouldn't mind an aisle seat because either way I'm still at the end and I have easy access to leave the plane fast. But if they're in the middle and they're staying where they are.
Yeah. Children don't have extra privileges. They don't have special privileges. It's a nice thing if you do switch seats, but there's no, like, obligation to.
And I feel like if you switch seats with the child, they're going to be like talking to you the whole plane ride, like, "Oh, thank you, mister, thank you, sir. How do you get on this ride?" I'm trying to sleep on the plane.
Mister, why is that show that you're watching have boobies in it? Mister, that's a very inappropriate show.
I was one of those children.
Really?
I was on a plane once, and then I get headaches on planes sometimes, or not, but like no, the poppy ears. You know how you get poppy ears sometimes. So like, you know how like when you chew gum it helps on the plane. So yeah, there was like a guy, and like he offered me gum, and the moment he offered me gum, I started watching the show he was watching on like the seat, like the TV seat.
Oh.
And then I was like, like I tap him like because he's wearing headphones, like, "That was funny, yeah, that was funny." He's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And then my mom was like, no. He's like, no, I'm having a good time with him. I'm having a good time. He understands me. Yeah.
Wait, that's cute though. Like, I know it's annoying for the guy. I feel bad for the guy, but me, if I was that guy, I'd be like, oh, it's a cute kid. I recently took a flight and had specifically chosen a window seat because I love looking outside during flights. It helps me relax. When I boarded, a woman with her kid, apparently 8 or 9 years old, was sitting in my row. She'd asked if I'd switch seats with her child so he could have the window seat. I politely said no and explained that I'd picked the window seat on purpose. She seemed annoyed and told me it wouldn't mean a lot to her son. I still declined because I paid extra for that seat, and honestly, I just wanted to enjoy my flight in peace. She gave me the silent treatment for the rest of the flight, and I heard her muttering to another passenger about selfish people. Now I'm wondering, was I being the asshole?
Sounds like a win-win to me. He got the silent treatment and his seat. That sounds like a win-win to me.
The woman didn't talk to her again.
Yeah, it could have been worse. The woman could have been like her. So
yeah, I mean, this is pretty easy. Like,
yeah.
The woman is the asshole in the situation.
Selfish people. Can you believe he wanted his own seat? He paid extra for and wouldn't give it to my 8 to 9-year-old that's not gonna remember this plane flight at all.
Yeah. Like, genuinely ask another passenger. Like, it's not that deep. There are multiple passengers on a plane. But also, like, now knowing the information that people paid extra for it, probably don't even ask.
Yeah,
I think it's honestly a waste of time. The fact that they're paying extra means something. It means they really wanted the seat. Yeah. Am I the asshole for telling co-worker they hurt my feelings, calling me wrong names constantly?
I mean, just based off that title, you can't really get much from this. Like, how are you an asshole for telling someone they hurt your feelings at all?
I feel like this isn't gonna be juicy because I think I should skip it because I don't think it's gonna be juicy. Yeah. I wanna look at this.
That sounds kind of boring as well. My kid approached a stranger's dog in our front yard.
Yeah, but
this just sounds kind of like, oh, there was a random dog on our front yard and my kid was like, oh, doggy, and walked up. Like, what's gonna be good about that?
Okay, we don't have to do that.
Yeah, okay, that one sounds good.
Am I the ass? Okay, let's do this.
This one sounds juicy.
Am I the asshole for calling out my boyfriend's family for changing the sleeping arrangement rules to favor his brother and SIL?
I think that means
significant.
I don't even know.
Sister-in-law.
Sister.
Oh, yeah, sister-in-law. There we go. I wouldn't have figured that out.
This way, keep me around.
I keep you around for this. All right.
I get scratches later, chat.
All right. Sorry, guys, about having to constantly check to see if you guys can see the screen. That's why I keep fidgeting with it.
I just like to know who the random viewer is that hasn't typed in chat at all, that like keeps coming on. Like I swear he's been like the one random viewer that's been on all our streams, but just hasn't typed in chat at all.
Dude, you gotta type in chat, man. We love you. We love you for coming on the streams. I, 24 female, and my boyfriend Nathan, 26 male, have been together for 6 years. This year, we traveled to his parents' house for a Thanksgiving. For context, Nathan is one of 4 brothers. Alex, single. Jack, married to Jill. Nathan, me, and Luke, married to Millie with a nearly 2-year-old.
I'm not remembering any.
I literally was gonna say the same thing, bro.
I can't even remember names. I don't know
For
why
context,
he's talking
Nathan
about
is one of
family.
our. I mean, it's just like a Nathan has brothers, and they're all guys' names. You'll piece it together. Everyone lives out of state except Luke and Millie. Nathan and I have the longest drive at 9 hours. Here's the issue: Nathan's parents, Mary and John, only have only 2 guest bedrooms. 3 couples tend to visit at a time, meaning someone has to sleep on an air mattress in between the rooms. The first year I visited, I was told they'd rotate who'd get the air mattresses to keep it fair, but after 3 years on it, we were told it was now first come, first serve. Nathan's job doesn't allow much holiday time, so we're almost always lost to arrive and stuck on the air mattresses. While annoying, we understood. It seemed logical. This year was different. Nathan and I got Monday through Thursday off and would arrive first. I talked to Mary about how we were gonna get a bedroom, and she laughed, saying, "Yep, first come, first serve." Millie, who I've grown close to, knew we were thrilled about the prospect of getting a bedroom this year. She even decided to come early too, so we could hang out, and we planned I'd take a twin room and she'd take the queen. Here's where it gets frustrating. The day we left, I text Mary out our ETA. A few hours later, Millie texted me saying Luke had spoken with Mary, who mentioned Jack and Jill would get the queen bedroom and Luke would get the twin one, leaving Nathan and me on an air mattress again. Luke called Mary out, reminding her of the first come first serve rule, but she suddenly claimed she never heard that and justified her decision because Jack and Jill would be staying an extra day. For context, Jack and Jill were arriving a day later than us, so this reasoning felt like an excuse. When we arrived, Nathan brought up the rule again, but Mary got defensive, claiming Mary didn't remember even saying it and refused to budge. I said several sarcastic comments as I felt this was really unfair. I pointed out rules are rules until they didn't serve Jill, and that we always do it to a certain way, until that means Jill has to take the air mattress and she would come up with any justification, but that doesn't make it fair. I even pointed out that it's silly for us to board out dogs and arrive 6 hours before anyone else just got here to change the rules now. She had plenty of time to bring up this with our many conversations leading up to this. She's become increasingly sassy about the situation, leaving us feeling defeated and frankly a little targeted. AITA for speaking over things. Mary unfairly changed the rules to suit Jack and Jill, and that we're always stuck with the short end of the stick.
I mean, I don't really know what she means by am I the asshole for speaking
Yeah.
up. She didn't speak up at all. Like, she spoke up a bit, but like she didn't even like, if that happened to me, I'm like arguing till I get the room.
If that happened to me, I'm not even arguing. I'm just sitting in the room, or I'm telling them this is a first come first serve rule.
Oh,
Like,
there, I'm just leaving.
yeah, honestly, I would leave. If you're gonna disrespect, I want respect. If you're gonna disrespect me like that, like, I will leave. I don't care if you are. I'm pretty sure Mary's like the mother. Yeah. I would just genuinely leave. That's
Also,
so
I don't
disrespectful.
I don't get the excuse she said, like, oh, I'm letting them have the room because they're staying extra day. If they're staying the extra day, that means that they can have the room after they leave. Like, let them leave and then they can have the room on the last day.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to like what stuff, like do you bring like all your belongings and like put them in the room and have it nicely set up? Like,
Yeah.
like a drawer or something. Like I don't get it. Like just give them the room on the last day
Yeah.
after everyone's gone. Like that's such a poor excuse. But yeah, there's definitely bias, as in like they're definitely in the right here.
Yeah.
The mother's just.
I can't see. I'm trying to look into her perspective. I can't see anything.
Because it's even worse. Because to favor his brother and sister-in-law, like it doesn't say brother and sister because that would mean like she's favoring family, right? Which is like I guess like, you know, she's favoring family over like this one's boyfriend. But because it's brother and sister-in-law, that means that they're basically in the same situation as they are because they're also technically the brother and sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Like, but like she's just choosing the other brother and sister-in-law instead and not them.
Yeah.
Meaning that it's probably the favorite child or something.
Info. Oh, here. Was Jack and Jill's position what is Jack and Jill's position on this whole thing? Seems like unless they are refusing to take the air mattress, it becomes sort of a non-issue, and Mary doesn't need to decide. Is she a conservative? Men and women shouldn't sleep together until they are married. Seems like she wanted the married couple to have their own rooms. Bottom line though, if this continues, I would just start staying in a hotel or not going. The whole thing seems like way more of a hassle than it's worth. That is true. That I was trying to think of I felt like there was something going on. That might be it, maybe.
But what I also find worse about this is the fact that like, even though it's the mother's fault, the brother and sister-in-law, they just accepted it and didn't like be like, oh, it's okay, you can take the room. They were just staying quiet. It sounds like they just stayed quiet and were like, no, we're not budging either. You know, we want the room as well. We're not staying on an air mattress.
Go home and actually enjoy your work break. I know, right?
Yeah, like if I had a work break, I wouldn't go to like a family event and stay
Yeah.
in someone's house.
Like
I want to stay in like a hotel or go on a holiday.
The level of disrespect to put, like, I would honestly like consider
Yeah, I think
only
as well.
them, like maybe only them being like constantly having a bedroom if they're traveling so far.
9 hours is a lot,
Yeah.
especially during your break.
Jeez. Let's do another one.
One more, like last one. It's 4 a.m.
Yeah, let's do one more.
Last one.
Gave my kid my wife's leftovers. Restaurant
sounds
leftovers. No, let's go for it.
Okay.
I want to read it. We let you decide the last one. I'm deciding this one. Ow. Am I the arsehole? Gave my kid my wife's leftovers. My wife, kid, and I went out to eat the other day to a Mongolian restaurant that is rather far away, not easy to get. Another order. Each of us had distinctly different stir-fry meals. We got to go boxes, and my wife asked what we label whose is whose. I told my wife we didn't need to do that because I could tell the difference between mine had banana peppers, my kids had 2 different types of noodles, and my wife had either multiple types of noodles nor banana peppers. The following day, my wife was away, and the kid and I ate our leftovers, leaving alone what I thought were my wife's. The next day, my wife notices that her stir fry is gone. Apparently, her leftovers also had the 2 types of noodles that were originally only discussed my kids had. When my kid and I ate our leftovers, I pulled out the first to-go boxes, saw one had banana peppers and the other had 2 different types of noodles, and figured those were ours. My wife is bummed because she was really looking forward to the leftovers, jokingly upset at me now. She tells me I was wrong for saying we didn't need to label the leftovers. She said I should have opened all 3 to-go boxes before eating my leftovers. So Reddit, am I the arsehole for not opening up all 3 to-go boxes before the kid and I ate our respective food? I'll leave it to the subreddit community to pass on judgment.
Yes.
Like, you just kind of, this guy, like kind of wanted Reddit to agree with him,
Yeah, like
by
he made a mistake. He should have just like been like, yeah, you're right. Next time I'll do that. He's trying to get back validation. Like, oh, I made a mistake, but I'm not in the wrong, am I right? Like,
yeah,
I'm not the asshole.
like he literally said himself. His wife specifically requested
Yeah.
to the to-go boxes to be labeled to avoid the situation that they literally got into, and he's phrasing it in a way it's like, oh, I had to go and open all 3 to-go boxes to see whose food is whose. Like, bro, you didn't have to open all 3 boxes. You had to ask someone to label the boxes.
It's even worse as well, because like I thought this story was gonna go somewhere like, oh, my wife was like super pissed and kept dissing me for it, you know.
She was reasonable.
But all she said, she told him what he did wrong, and she was jokingly saying it as well. Like, she wasn't even mad, but then he was trying to be like, chat, am I the asshole? Chat. Like, come on, guys, like, you understand where I'm coming from, right? Like, having to spend an extra 10 seconds to grab out another box. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Some unreasonable women these days, am I right?
Yeah. I feel like this is kind of like a
Can
guy.
we check the comments as well?
Yeah, this is like a guy that's like, you can just tell. I mean, maybe not, but I feel like he gives me crappy husband vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can't admit that you're wrong in such a basic context.
This is just such a petty thing to do as well. How do you have like an argument with your wife and then like, I'm gonna go on Reddit and post about this?
That as well. He literally went to Reddit.
He took
to
the
get
time
sympathy.
He could have like apologized in the time, but he took the time to open up Reddit, type this whole story, and then be like,
oh my god, that's a whole nother layer of petty. He is a bad husband.
Like, I understand if like you have a proper argument and like you want like validation, or like you just need to like vent or something, but this is such the most minuscule like your fault issue that I have no idea why you'd ever post it.
Wow.
When you could be like buying your wife more food and being like, I'm sorry honey, I got you food to apologize.
Yeah.
But instead of doing that, he wants upvotes.
Jesus, he literally wants sympathy for his mistake. You're not on the frame again, by the way.
Sorry. She asked you to do something small to ensure she could throw in leftovers. You refused to do that, bypass her concerns, and then you served leftovers to the kid because her concerns turned out to be 100% valid. If you're going to refuse to do something simple like label leftovers, you need to take more care before eating them to ensure you get the right ones. You could have had avoid this situation by listening to your wife, but no, you could have avoided the situation by taking more care and checking all the boxes, but no, again, now your wife is bumped, and guess whose fault it is? All you. Next time, just listen and label them. Clearly your wife is right and you cannot actually tell the difference. He didn't have the label, all of them just hers. How much you want to bet she asked him to label hers because something like this has happened before?
Oh,
but I don't care how much. Yeah, it's just so bad because like I so thought this was gonna go into a story where the wife was like over exaggerating and being like, I can't believe you gave our kid the food, but it was just like, please don't do it again. Please, I wanted my food and you kind of got rid of my food. It's okay, you got rid of my food, just don't do it again, please. Reddit. Can you believe this woman? What have I married? I want to see if the owner...
Am I the asshole for wanting a divorce because my wife requested that I label her Chinese to-go boxes?
You can tell the way he is as well, because he hasn't replied to any of the comments as well. He's letting... Like, because all these comments are disagreeing with him, and he hasn't replied to any of them. I feel like he was, like, waiting for one comment to be like, I totally agree with you, bro, and then reply to that, being like, thank you, bro. Finally someone gets my side.
The fact that he's
what is
labeled the asshole.
I'm interested in what his other posts are. Like, click on his account and see what his other posts are.
Okay.
I feel like his stupid post gave my... Okay.
To be clear, I was only told afterward that my wife's box also had 2 types of noodles my kids' meal had, even though I made a point at dinner when boxing up the leftovers that was the difference. Hers not having 2 types of noodles. I wasn't corrected at the time.
Again, he's trying to guess.
Wait, sorry, to be clear, I only was told afterwards that my wife's box only had 2 types of noodles my kids' meal had.
Okay, I understand what he's saying here. He's saying, like, at the time, when, like, he made... You know how he made his reasoning at the start? He was like, oh, we don't need to label them because his is this, hers has this, and his is that. But, like, even though she didn't correct him, like, at the same time, he's still the one that pointed it out. So he's still at fault because, like, that's if, like, I made it incorrect like observation at the start. I was like, oh, your pizza has pineapple and that one doesn't, even though it did, right? That's still my fault for unobserving it, even if I'm not corrected on it. That's still my fault. And like, yeah, it sounds like he's still trying to like make get pity points from people to say like, oh, but there was this.
Yeah. At least he apologized, like... Well, he didn't apologize, but he said lesson learned.
Yeah, and then looks like lesson learned.
He said lesson learned. Alright, chat. This was actually gonna be our last one, so if you wanted to watch it, just honestly go to the start of the live stream and start watching from there. I think that will do you good. Because we're just about to wrap up, but thank you everyone who tuned in. This was fun. We'll definitely do it again, but I think we should do like ones that are more dramatic. This was like not dramatic.
Like I said, you can sort it by like most highest voted next time.
Yeah.
Those were just recent ones that were voted high.
Yeah. I'll do that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Enjoy and subscribe, or you will become a dumpling.
Bye, chat.
Bye, chat.